Yo, what's up guys? You got pokeaim here with my week 7 team analysis for the UCL. I of course am coach of the Bronx Beartics, aka pokeaimMD, and this week we are taking on Kristen, aka Cuddle of Death, coach of the Tulsa Talonflames. Now before we actually get into the team breakdown, I just want to say if you guys want to pick up your Drop of Draco socks, they're only available for, well, by the time this thing goes up, they'll only be available for 3 more days, and they're gone after that. So if you guys would like to pick them up, there's a link down below in the description. Anyway, Kristen's team consists of Volcanion, Thundurus, Bisharp, Florges, Donphan, Goodra, Uxie, Aselgor, Mega Bayonet, Shiftry, Tauros, and Mr. Mime. Now if you guys are new to this and you're not sure what the hell I'm talking about, this is Draft League where our teams are drafted and we fight other YouTubers for X amount of weeks, and then best records make it to playoffs and winner wins. And it's the UCL, that's what we called it. But basically the way I make my team, which I actually made with CBB and Tony Fly on this week, so big shout outs to both of them. I really like the team that we came up with. Basically the way I make my team is that I make sure that I can beat any combination of 6 that my opponent wants to bring. So whether my opponent brings Volcanion, Thundurus, Bisharp, Florges, Donphan, Goodra, or if they bring Uxie, Aselgor, Goodra, Donphan, Florges, Bisharp, anything, I just want to make sure that I'm prepped for them because it would suck to lose to a Pokemon that I am not prepped for. And in any case, let's go over the team this week. So we are bringing back Defensive Manaphy. I brought this versus Mo, if I am not mistaken, whom I played I think 2 weeks ago, if not last week. I think I played Mo, not last week. I think last week I played Game Boy Luke. No, I might have played Mo last week. But I used this versus Mo, and it's the Rest Talk defensive, or excuse me, it's the Rest Rain Dance Hydration Manaphy set. Obviously with Hydration plus Rain Dance, I wake up 100% with Rest. I cannot be frozen because of Scald. Also, Hydration heals me under the rain. As well as the fact that any status my opponent wants to go for, whether it be Thunder Wave, Will-O-Wisp, or Toxic, Hydration with Rain Dance up heals me. Now, very, very bulky Manaphy, 252 HP, 140 defense, 116 speed. Reason I'm 116 speed is because it allows me to outspeed Timid, Volcanion, Jolly Bisharp, things like that, and this allows me to either get off a Scald before they hit me or stall them out depending on the Volcanion set. Now we're physically defensive because we're never 2-hit KO'd by Tauros' Rock Climb. This also allows us to take on Mega Bayonet, Bisharp, and Donphan easier, as well as the fact that Manaphy just wrote max HP, takes on Mr. Mime, can Toxic them, can Scald Burn. It actually stalls out Goodra if Goodra's only attack to hit me is Draco, because I can rest up on the Draco and eat up its next hit. And main reason we have Toxic is because there's no real offensive Manaphy set. Like if I ran HP Electric, which was like the only super effective hidden power I could think of that would touch Volcanion. I mean, obviously there's HP Ground as well, but that doesn't really hit anything else on my opponent's team. Basically, there was no coverage move that offensive Manaphy could use. I feel that best dealt with his team. But defensively, Manaphy just deals with the majority of her team. Excuse me. Kristen is a girl. I said his, but I meant her. Kristen is definitely a girl. But in any case, I don't really need Spadef in order to take on Volcanion. The main thing is Toxic it and wear it down to the point where Outrage or even Earth Power or Earthquake from my Pokemon can knock it out. This thing can also stall out defensive Florges if it's like Wish Aromatherapy, because Aromatherapy only has 8 PP. So I can stall that thing out and rest all on that. And it's just a good backup check for maybe Calm Mind Uxie or any support of Uxie, because I can Toxic that and wear it down. Next up we have Mega Aggron, and this week we're bringing a really cool Mega Aggron. Now this set is not 3-hit KO'd by Tauros' Fire Blast or Tauros' Earthquake if it's Life Orb Naive, and we are running Heavy Slam, Stealth Rock, Brick Break, and Rock Slide. Now Brick Break is just an option in case she brings dual screens Memento Uxie, or just dual screens Uxie in general with like setup Bisharp. Basically Brick Break not only breaks through the screens, but it also knocks out Bisharp, whereas Rock Slide is a 2-hit KO on Volcanion, and Heavy Slam plus Rock Slide knocks out Thundurus 100%. Rock Slide also allows me to deal with Aselgor, and I wanted this Pokemon because it deals with Florges defensively as well as Mr. Mime defensively. You can even take Focus Blast because of Filter, but also just a good check to Calm Mind Uxie, since with Toxic, Heavy Slam just pounds it and Uxie does not break through me unless it's like +6, and even then it doesn't knock me out. At +6, it needs 2 hits to knock me out. But it's also a great check to Bisharp as well as Tauros. Even check Shift Tree as Brick Break does a decent amount. I mean, Heavy Slam does a lot anyway to most of those mons. And we wanted Rock Slide because it's a way of dealing with Thunderous, but also doing half to Volcanion. And that was just the main thing. It also gives me a Dragon Resist so I can take Dracos if Goodra does want to drop a Draco. Or sock a Draco. No. Buy my socks. Look at that blatant advertisement. Nah, if you want to pick them up, you can. I have a couple pairs that are coming. I'll hype for them. But defensively, this thing checks Florius and as well as Tauros. Even Heavy Slam is going to do a crap load to Mega Bayonet. Though Manaphy is more likely my way of dealing with Mega Bayonet. I can Scald Burn it, Toxic it, that way it can't Destiny Bomb me with its Prankster and wear that thing down. And this combined with Manaphy really does deal with the majority of his team. Next up, we have Beat Down my Kyurem Black. Now, this week we are running a Choppleberry set because the main way that my opponent can deal with this, a fast way that my opponent can knock this thing out, is with Focus Blast from Thundurus, if that does connect, if it's Life Orb Thundurus. So Choppleberry allows me to tank that. Ice Beam 100% knocks out Thundurus. Earth Power 100% knocks out Bisharp. Earth Power plus Dragon Claw 100% knocks out max HP Volcanion, whereas Iron Head is a solid 2-KO on the most defensive Florges 100% with Toxic Spikes, and most of the time it's a solid 2-KO. If Stuff Worker up, I 100% 2-KO. I said that like a bunch of times, but it's true. It's what Beatdown does, it 100% stuff. So Iron Head, 2-KOs Florges. Dragon Claw nukes Goodra, as well as Dragon Claw is very, very spammable versus my opponent. His Dragon Resist is Florius, which is 2-KO by Iron Head. Donphan can definitely take a Dragon Claw, but Ice Beam with Terrible, I break through its sturdy and I knock it out anyway. And this also can tank hits from Tauros, even though I'm rash natured, as well as even tank a Dazzling Gleam from Mr. Mime if it needs to and knock it out with the Iron Head from there. It's enough speed to outspeed Jolly Bisharp as well as Timid Volcanion, because after that the speed tiers are way higher. I thought there was no point in outspeeding Shiftry, and if anything I would bring Adamant Shiftry if I was facing my team, just because Pokemon like Reuniclus are definitely threats, and Jolly Shiftry doesn't outspeed Manaphy anyway if I'm running speed on it. But defensively, like offensively, Adamant Shiftry does better versus my team than Jolly Shiftry. And Ice Beam and Dragon Claw are just so spammable on Beatdown. I'm expecting Beatdowns to do exactly what its name implies, beat my opponent down, but we'll beat down and I'm out. Backflip. Next up, very, very heat set. And it's pretty fitting considering we named this Pokemon CTC. We were looking at ways that Garbodor can get up hazards and spin block versus Donphan, and behold, the Power Herb, Modest, Solar Beam, Acid Spray, Hidden Power Fighting, Toxic Spikes, Garbodor. Oof. This thing outspeeds Adamant Bisharp. Again, I would run Adamant versus me. I felt that there was no point in running Timid. We wanted the power of Solar Beam. I would run Adamant versus me just specifically for the extra damage on Kyurem. After +2 Life Orb Sucker Punch can knock out Kyurem. It's because I'm Rash Nature. I'm not using Kyurem to deal with Bisharp anyway, which is why I went, that's why I went Mild Natured over the minus Spadef Nature. Because I also want to be able to take a hit from Volcanion if I want, if need be. But this is Modest, Max Special Attack Garbodor. Acid Spray plus Solar Beam 100% knocks out Donphan. Hidden Power Fighting stops Bisharp from setting up on me. Toxic Spikes wears down Florius. It wears down Volcanion to the point where Earth Power knocks it out. And Solar Beam was just there. Also, another cool thing, if I Acid Spray Volcanion as the thing comes in, and I'm faster than Modest Volcanion, by the way. If I Acid Spray Volcanion as that thing comes in and there's Toxic Spikes up, Acid Spray, Toxic Spikes plus Solar Beam can knock out Volcanion. Hidden Power Fighting allows me to deal with Bisharp, as I already said. And mainly this thing's job is to set up the Toxic Spikes and prevent spin from my opponent, prevent my opponent from rapid spinning them away. I also have Aftermath to do extra damage to Donphan if things don't go the way I want it to go. And I'm hoping to be able to get up my Toxic Spikes and just be able to wear down Volcanion, be able to wear down a Selgor, Shiftry, Tauros, because if something is worn down, it helps my last mon clean up, as you guys will see what that Pokemon is. But Garbodor, really cool. It sets up T-Spikes versus Florius. I'm actually leading off of Garbodor no matter what. That's my game plan no matter what. The game goes up at 4 p.m. Eastern on Saturday, by the way. But my game plan no matter what is to lead off with Garbodor because I want the T-Spikes up and I want to lure in Donphan. Garbodor effectively lures in Donphan. I could have used Explosion Garbodor, but that's not fun. That's definitely not fun. Power Herb, Solar Beam, meaning Solar Beam does not have to charge. It's a one-turn move. Just effectively deals with it. And the Spadef means that I live Modest Earth Power from Volcanion as well as the Steam Eruption. So Garbodor can definitely eat up those hits with that 32 Spadef investment. And Hidden Power Firing, as I already said. One, it's it does a crap load to Tauros. I believe it's almost a 2-hit KO on Tauros. With Toxic Spikes, Hidden Power Fighting is actually a 2-hit KO on Tauros. And Tauros doesn't knock me out and lets us, like, I think High Roll Earthquake, something like that. And if it touches me, then it takes the aftermath if it knocks me out while it's touching me. But Hidden Power Fighting is also almost a 2-hit KO. But it's mainly there just so Bishop does not sit up. I'm not too worried about Bishop. I have 53 defensive mana fee. I have Brick Break, Mega Aggron, but an SD low kick Bishop could be a little bit annoying. So I definitely wanted to be able to deal with that. This also just gives me a Fairy Resist on the team, another Fairy Resist that you can just set up effectively versus Florges, and set up hazards versus a Selgor if need be. Obviously, Mega Aggron also deals with a Selgor. Next up, we have Assault Vest Lucky, my Tangrowth. Now, with Regenerate, of course, we're running max def or near max def. Honestly, this HP just doesn't matter. But the thing is, with Hidden Power Fighting, which is again what we're running, there's literally 4 that doesn't do anything. As you can see, it doesn't do anything. So it's literally just 4 that I put in speed just to put them there. Because that means if there's any speed ties, I'll always win them. That's a little tip. That's a lie, guys. Anyway, we're running Hidden Power Fighting on this thing because, again, we do not want to give Bishop setup. Not that we're too worried, but it does also 2-hit KO Tauros, as I mentioned before. Knockoff plus Sludge Bomb knocks out Mr. Mime 100% with 4 attack investment. 100% knocks out Mr. Mime. I'm very scared of Nasty Plot Mr. Mime because it's faster than the majority of my team. 5 out of 6 members, it is faster than. But Assault Vest, Tangrowth is also just a great pivot versus something like Scarf Mr. Mime, which fails to 2-hit KO me. And we have Power Whip because that hits Mr. Mime a lot harder. Again, I'm scared of that Pokemon. It hits it harder. It can hit Florius hard as well. And it also does almost 50% to Volcanion. So it's a very strong hit. Again, spamming Sludge Bomb, which allows me to deal with Mr. Mime, but also deal with Florius. Just get good neutral damage off on Shift Tree. It knocks out Shift Tree most of the time. Well, you know, like after a bit of prior damage. And again, it's just good coverage versus him. And then Power Whip doesn't really have anything that can Will-O-Wisp burn me outside of Mega Bayonet. So, and I guess Volcanion Steam Eruption. But it also gives us a Water Resist, though. I'm probably not going to be using this for Volcanion too much unless I 100% find out what type of Volcanion she is. If she's locked in, if she's like Scarfed, then I could use this. But knockoff spamming, using Sludge Bomb and Hidden Power Fighting to deal with Bisharp, as well as 2-hit KO Tauros and smack Shift Tree. The Sludge Bomb does the job as well. Last but not least, we have Choice Scarf, Flygon, Fizz. Now we're Adamant Choice Scarf. Normally I would run Jolly Talent Speed, Scarf, Mr. Mime, but honestly I'm not going to use this to deal with Mr. Mime anyway. And if it's not Scarf Mr. Mime, then I deal with it regardless. And Adamant just gives me that power. I wanted Superpower to be able to deal with Tauros. Tauros could be an issue, but also be able to deal with Bisharp if needed. And just hits really hard. As you can tell, I'm not running U-turn on this thing. I'm actually not running U-turn. We wanted the defogger because Kristen does have the option of spike stacking versus me, which could be annoying. I'm not running like 6 regenerator mons this week. I'm not running Reuniclus. I'm not running Almola because she has Bisharp, Nasty Plot Thundurus, Volcanion, all that, which can overpower them if they don't boost enough. It's really hard for me to boost versus the majority of the team. Mega Bayonet, Shift Tree, a Selgor, a lot of them just deal with Reuniclus. So I'm not running Heart Body this week. But we're Adamant with enough speed for, I believe, Jolly Shift Tree, if I'm not mistaken. And we're also faster than a Selgor, but that's just the highest speed tier we really needed. Superpower just to deal with Tauros. It does knock it out after Chi Spikes and Stealth Rock 100%, or just after Chi Spikes. Sometimes Earthquake obviously lets me deal with Bisharp, Volcanion. It does lots of Volcanion actually. It almost KOs. It has a chance to KO. With one turn of Toxic Spike, it usually KOs. Like it's like 90% to KO. And then Stone Edge, because Nasty Plot Thundurus could definitely be a threat. I do have Chopper Berry. I do have Rock Slide. I do have Assault Vest, Tangrowth, which also helps cushion the blow, but it can be a threat. And Stone Edge does 90 to 107% with an Adamant nature of the Thundurus, so it's a 50% chance to actually KO. But we wanted that over U-turn just to be able to deal with the Thundurus effectively. This just gives me a nice late win con that can potentially spam Earthquake. If I get rid of Thundurus and Uxie, the ground immunities are gone, so why not have the strongest Earthquake possible? Other options were like Yachi-Chomp, but we really want to defog for just a spike stacking option. But that's pretty much the team for this week. I like it a lot. I hope you guys all enjoyed. Of course, root for the Bronx Beartics. Again, if you guys would like to pick up the Drop a Draco socks, they are down below. For by the time this video goes up, should be about 3 more days. But hope you guys all enjoyed. I will see you guys at 4 p.m. Eastern for the battle itself. So goodbye, friends. Cue the outro.